Hey, what's going on, everyone? Thank you for tuning in and checking out my latest video. Now, today's video is going to be talking about, in my opinion, one of the best all-around boxers coming up in the professional ranks that I've seen in quite a long time, and that's going to be talking about Anthony Sims Jr. And Anthony Sims Jr., guys, has a very unique story, so I think you guys will enjoy this video. I'm going to get into some tragedy he had to overcome in his personal life, also talk about some legends he worked with in the sport of boxing, some amateur highlights of his career, and ultimately, guys, where I see him in a professional standard. Do I think he's going to be a world champion? Things like this. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. Also, there's going to be a little highlight clip at the end of the video for you guys to check out. So starting off with Anthony Sims Jr., a lot of people had heard about him. He's an amateur standout. He's a cousin to Floyd Mayweather as well. As an amateur, Anthony Sims Jr. was 188 and 13, 10 national titles. So incredible feat really early on in his career, and to be that talented goes to show you what kind of special talent we're talking about in this video on Anthony Sims Jr. Now, he earlier in his career was with Don King. Thankfully, now he's not with Don King. He's with Eddie Hearn, in my opinion, the best promoter in the sport of boxing. And when you look at Anthony Sims Jr., you see his skills currently on display in the zone. You look back and you have to think about some of the teachers that he worked with early on in his life. So, for example, his family made a very big sacrifice when his mother sent him out to Vegas to learn and train at the Mayweather Boxing Club, because he that was his dream to become a boxer. And ultimately, they sacrificed some of their family life for him to go off and pursue that. So you got to give his mother a lot of credit. You got to give Anthony Sims Jr. a lot of credit. It takes a lot of courage to do that, in my opinion. And that kind of world class sparring and atmosphere, I think, is very good for the career of Anthony Sims Jr. And he actually ended up living with Roger Mayweather for 4 years. And on top of that, he actually trained with one of the most legendary trainers of all time, Emanuel Stewart, the teacher of Tommy Hearns, Vladimir Klitschko, Lennox Lewis, just to name a few. Incredible, one of the best teachers of the sport of boxing has ever seen. So he learned from two legends right away. So there's type of skills and different things that he would have picked up that not a lot of people can say they have experience learning from those two coaches. And Anthony Sims Jr., I've heard him say before, he gives a lot of credit to Emmanuel Stewart for teaching him how to sit down on his punches and how to actually power punch. Because before, he didn't have that same sort of power that he did after training with Emmanuel Stewart. And to the point where we talk about Anthony Sims Jr., he's had to overcome a lot right now to get to where he is. He had a great interview on IFL TV. It was not a pleasant interview, but it was something that was an interview that needed to be done, and I thought was very good for mental health awareness. He's a big advocate for that. Unfortunately, Anthony Sims Jr. lost his father to suicide, and that was very brave of him for letting people know about that. And it affected him. Obviously, it affects him every day still, but for him to be able to continue to train, continue to box, and do so on a high level and keep continuing to dream, you got to give a lot of respect to him, because he could have went the opposite way. It could have derailed him, and he ultimately lost his best friend to suicide as well, who he considered a brother. So he's had to overcome a lot, and his maturity for, I believe he's 23 years old, is incredible. It's almost like a 40-year-old. He's a guy who's very well spoken, and I love hearing his commentary about just things in general. Very, very smart individual. Reads a lot of books, things like this. So he's a very intelligent boxer in and out of the ring, and I got a lot of respect for him for what he's had to overcome, because mental health is something that affects almost every family at times. So it's a very, very tough situation. So moving on, guys, and talking about some of the skills that Anthony Sims Jr. has. When you look at him as a fighter, Anthony Sims Jr. has a beautiful jab. His counter straight right hand is excellent. And another thing that Anthony Sims Jr. does that is very well, he fights off his back foot, was one of the things I was going to point out. He also does two things exceptional, in my opinion. So his punching accuracy is amazing, and his ability to dart in and out kind of reminds me a little bit of Sugar Ray Leonard. Um, and what I mean by that is he comes in and out, confuses opponents, changes his angles. And while he's doing this, guys, he always has his distance and timing down. And that's an incredible feat to do, to be able to have those type of skills and the footwork to be able to do that. That goes to show you the elite level talent, in my opinion, that Anthony Sims Jr. possesses. And when he does back his opponents up on the ropes, he also is very good at breaking down their guard. He'll use breaks them down from the top up, head goes down to the body, lands some vicious hooks, and also uppercuts to the head as well. That he has very good weapons as well in that regard. So he's kind of a very well-rounded fighter, I would say, when you look at him. Ultimately, fights off his back foot, defensively responsible, good head movement, uses uppercuts on the ropes, body punches, uses his jab, uses that straight right hand to counter. He does a lot of things excellently, in my opinion. And the thing, in my opinion, with Anthony Sims Jr., which makes him unique as well, is when you look at him, you don't say, okay, his power is amazing. You don't say he has the fastest hand speed you ever seen, but just everything he does, it's very fundamentally sound. So that's the thing is, when you're looking at him as a boxer, he's a real intelligent fighter, and his boxing IQ is light years above many people in the sport of boxing, in my opinion. So I believe when I look at Anthony Sims Jr., he will become a world champion at 168 pounds. And I remember talking to one of his gym mates, Mike Perez, Irish Mike Perez, of course, originally from Cuba, immigrated to Ireland. And he is a very talented fighter, had a very close fight with Brian Jennings. He beat Carlos Takam in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. He also had that classic fight with Magomed Abusalov. Um, Unfortunately, both of those fighters were never the same after that, but that was one of the all-time classic heavyweight fights, in my opinion. And he told me that Anthony Sims Jr. is going to be a world champion, no question about it, that his skill set is amazing. And I believe him 100% because, like I said, he has all the tools. He's overcome adversity. And the thing that fans should really get behind Anthony Sims Jr. is I thought this was really cool. So after his last fight, I think he said he had over 1,000 messages, and he responded to each and every one of them, taking the time out for his fans. So he definitely appreciates the support of the people tuning in and watching his fights. So I thought that was a really cool gesture that he did. And like I said, this guy is just an extreme talent. His boxing IQ is through the roof. Amateur pedigree, good talker on the mic. You got everything you want. If you're American, you're really sleeping on this guy because this guy should be one of your most talked about fighters from the media, from YouTube to wherever. All different platforms should be talking about this guy because unreal talent, in my opinion. Um, so with no further ado, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely check out my highlight clip right now. And thank you once again, guys, for tuning in and checking out my channel. Really appreciate that and hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you very much, guys.